Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to tackle the absolute ultimate physics revision topic. We're clearing up those common, totally frustrating mark-dropping exam mistakes by dissecting the fundamental difference between mass and weight. If you've ever found yourself losing points right at the end of a big calculation, well, you're in the right place. This is the masterclass for you.
Okay, here is our game plan for today. We're covering 1. Mass versus weight. 2. The weight equation. 3. Interplanetary calculations. And 4. Examiner tips and unit.
So, Section 1, Mass versus Weight, uncovering the true meaning.
Now, look at the stark contrast here, because this trips up students every single year. On the left, we've got mass. Mass is the absolute amount of matter an object contains. It's measured in kilograms, and it is entirely invariant, meaning it literally never ever changes, regardless of where you happen to be in the universe. But on the right, we have weight. And weight is an actual force. Specifically, it's the force of gravity acting upon that mass. And because it's a force, it's measured in newtons. Crucially, it is highly variable depending entirely on the local gravity.
Moving right along to Section 2, the weight equation, the formula you need to know. So, now that we've separated those two concepts, how do they actually relate to one another mathematically? Well, the bridge between mass and weight is represented by a lowercase g, which stands for gravitational field strength. This is a localized value, and it dictates exactly how much gravitational force acts upon a given mass in a specific location. It's basically your multiplier. It turns your invariant mass into your localized weight using that absolutely essential formula, W equals m times g. That's weight equals mass times gravitational field strength.
All right, Section 3, Interplanetary calculations, traveling the solar system.
Let's look at a classic, multi-part exam scenario straight from the source material. We're tasked with figuring out the weight of an astronaut whose mass is 68 kilograms. We need to calculate this across 3 completely different celestial bodies, and we're given their specific gravitational field strengths. We've got Earth at 9.81 newtons per kilogram, the Moon at a much weaker 1.62 newtons per kilogram, and Mars at 3.71 newtons per kilogram. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the totally foolproof method for these types of multi-step problems. Step 1. Explicitly state your given invariant mass. In this case, m equals 68 kilograms. Write it down right away so you remember it doesn't change. Step 2. Write out your formula. W equals mg. Boom, you've just secured your method marks. Step 3. Systematically substitute the local g value for each celestial body and solve it out. Let's see what happens when we do that. Once we calculate 68 times 9.81 for Earth, we get 667 newtons. For the Moon, 68 times 1.62 gives us just 110 newtons. And for Mars, 68 times 3.71 equals 252 newtons. All calculated perfectly to 3 significant figures. When you map these out, you can visually see just how wildly the astronauts' weight drops when they travel from Earth out to the Moon and Mars. The force pulling them down is fundamentally different in every single environment. But amidst all of those shifting numbers, check out what stayed exactly the same. Yup, 68 kilograms. This is the absolutely crucial takeaway here. Throughout all of those calculations across the solar system, the astronaut's mass remains exactly 68 kilograms. It really doesn't matter if they're taking heavy, grounded steps on Earth or basically bouncing across the lunar surface. This proves that mass depends solely on the amount of matter making up the astronaut, not their location. Only the weight changes with g. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Examiner Tips and Units, Securing Your Marks. Please pay very close attention to this explicit warning straight from the examiners. They note, weight questions almost always want a numerical answer with units. Always state the unit explicitly and always check it matches the quantity. Listen, if you do all that hard math and just write down the number 667 at the bottom of your test paper without an explicit unit attached to it, you are going to lose the final mark. It's heartbreaking, but it happens all the time. And honestly, what's even worse is when students write the wrong unit just out of pure habit. Writing 667 kg is a fatal error. Why? Well, because as we established right at the beginning of this explainer, kilograms measure mass, not weight. You must strictly use an uppercase N for newtons whenever you're finalizing a weight calculation. Always double-check your work. If it asks for weight, it has to end in newtons. No exceptions. To wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to really lock in your understanding of this revision tutorial.
Since we now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your mass is an absolute invariant measure of your matter, if you were drifting out there in deep space, infinitely far away from any planet, a place where your gravitational weight officially drops to 0 newtons, what exactly happens to your kilograms? Think about the fundamental difference we just explored.